So, hello everyone. Starting with today's meet. So, hope you guys have a great week. And today's meet is for 11th Feb 2026. So, starting with the code of conduct, the code of conduct says the privacy policy terms of use, and the code of conduct has to be followed of the Linux Foundation itself. You also know about the weekly dev call, which we held every Wednesday at 8 p.m. IST, and our official repository. You can see the link right here. So, starting with today's agenda is majorly about the update about the project's direction, the governance, which was updated by Anubhav, and about the LFX mentorship, which is upcoming right next in next few weeks. So first, starting with the discussion part. So I haven't made a PPT today, like too long, because we need to discuss this stuff today. So starting with today's discussion, our main focus from now onwards in the GitMesh would be in a direction where we will be focusing on the part where we can help any kind of project or company to understand what they should build next. So what do I mean by this is something like you have heard about Y Combinator, right? So have you if you have seen the Y Combinator's Spring 2026 one, so it does mention this thing that what we are focusing on now onwards would be majorly on the part of the signals. Like we already have implemented the PM part, the project management side part. The main part which we have to change is regarding the signals part. So in signals part, what we will be focusing on would be the internal signals, or you can say the team signals or the existing customer signals. Earlier, what we were doing was we were gathering the information from outside the community of that company. So now onwards, what we will be focusing on is more focused on the thing which we call the internal team details, along with the customer details which are currently there. So we will be ingesting three things now. First is the internal data from Slack or different source which the company or user wants to integrate directly. Have you heard about the Giga company? So what it does is it ingests that company's data. So one of our sources would be the company data along with the internal talks like on Slack, Discord, or anything. Second thing which we will be collecting is the part where we will be collecting and directly integrating with things like HubSpot or Salesforce or those stuff which do conduct CRM. So CRM is like regarding data. So we'll get all the customer details from that part. So our current customer or the potential customer we would get from those stuff. And the third thing which we will collect is the data regarding how the customers are using their particular our client's product, which means the data from post hog or human behavior. So what does postdoc does? It actually give you data like how user went through the whole process, like how user went from one page to another for a particular app or particular website. So if we get such data, we can also understand what are the key problems which customers are facing, and we can also collect that part. So using this all three part and the project management side, we can then suggest users what they should build next. According to this data, we'll suggest the users to particularly use or build something which is on the roadmap, and they can focus much more better on that part. Because nowadays, as we were earlier focusing on, nowadays the things are much easier to build, but the main problem is like what we should build. So it would help people with that part. So that was regarding what we will be focusing for the GitMesh roadmap ahead. The second stuff which I wanted to discuss was regarding the LFX mentorship part. So LFX mentorship part, I would be submitting the LFX mentorship form on Monday. Most probably Monday. I would like what I thought was I would be submitting on Monday or Tuesday. So on 16th or 17th, I would be submitting that form in which like LF like GitMesh would be submitted as an LFX project. Once selected, then mentees can apply for those part. Those mentees who were or like those contributors who were already building with us would get a preference and will get our referral directly to for the like directly with the HR part. Once HR does select you, you would be our official mentee. Other than that, for the outside contributors who are interested to submit, like to use the product or like just engage with the product, they can also apply. We will, if someone is greatly interested or like is skillful, we will also add them for that part. So, like I would just share that part also. First, I discussed about the future roadmap. As you all know, we will be focusing on that part, which I told. Also, for those who wants to be mentee or even mentor, or both of that part, like what I would suggest is like to increase the commits in the core, like core project part, so that the like HR could be like the menu, which is the HR of LFDT, can help you get in the mentorship program. So that's just my suggestion. Something which I would be just showing you guys is this thing. Obviously, you do know the benefits of mentees. You know the benefits of being mentor. So benefits of mentee involve the experience with real world open source softwares. Other than that, it also teaches you the development infrastructure, tooling, and best practices. Also, we would be now also focusing on writing the documentation and the complete structure of the project so that other can easily start with. Wait a second. Yeah. So that it can help you understand the open source project well. Also, it would teach like also other than us, you will be also exposed to the other mentors, which would be conducting event when there is a collaboration event of all the project in LFDT. Also, it help you to gain the professional and industrial networking with different people from different companies, and you can get a chance to showcase your product, and also you get a stipend. So this was for the mentee, for the mentors part. So you get the chance, like obviously you get the chance to show your expertise and share your passion with others. You get opportunity to teach and guide new contributors. And for the part which like any like you can also use the project as showcase in your particular resume or anything. So it would also help that part. And just like onboarding and talent training of the new mentees. So regarding the date and timeline, it's 2nd Feb to 13th Feb, 13th March, sorry. So we will be proposing the project during that day, the date, and on 25th March we will get the final result, which projects are going to be selected for the mentorship program. So for this thing, there is an like one problem which I think right now is uh, the part where like they generally strongly oppose that part. Like if there is 51 more than 15% code by a single person because it shows the dependency of single person. So this might be an issue. I don't know exactly. So I am just clarifying this might be the issue. Other than that, from for the mentees can apply from 27th March to 8th May. So between these dates, I guess our meet would be there on 1st April. Yeah, so we will have meet on like not 1st April actually, 6th, 13th. So we will have like we have 2 or 3 mates. So I would guide you for the mentorship during that time. You can also apply to more than one project in one mentorship program. You can apply to 2 or 3 like mentorship program, and I would strongly suggest you to apply to at least 2 projects. I would suggest you to apply to at least 2 projects. The reason is that I, as a mentor or like maintainer, also can't guarantee that you would be selected as mentee, because I can give you a referral, but the final selection is in the hands of Minu, which is the HR of LFDT. So I would just strongly suggest you to submit in 2 projects so that you don't face any type of consequences for that particular part. Other than that, you will not, if you are selected for the mentorship, you will get notification between this date and the interview with the mentors, like most probably me or the maintainers would be conducting this interview. So that is during 25th May to 29th May. From the 1st June to 12th June, this time would be for the onboarding and orientation part, and the mentorship would be of 6 months. Regarding the funding and stipend structure, you do know about that part also. The structure is, if you could see my screen. Yeah, so the structure of the mentorship would be 6,000 USD would be the base amount, and it would be like according to the PPP. So for India, it won't be 6,000, it would be lower than 6,000. And there are like minimum and maximum stipend amount right here. So this all things is under menu directly. So regarding this part, I guess I'm like right now clear about the LFX mentorship part. So the next thing which I wanted to discuss was the part where like Anubhav like had shared me the governance part. I did not get time to like read out that part. So if you can just screen share, and if you want to show the part, you can show it right now. Yeah.
So regarding what I sent you was the current version of what I have built, and I also wanted to discuss how the uh, how our contribution management system would should work like in future. So I have prepared a presentation for that I'd like to share.
Yeah, sure.
So is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
So so the current governance systems only logs the contributions of each contributor, but it is not it does not do anything beyond that. So to improve the engagement of contributors to our project, I propose this one, like intelligent contributor growth system that is designed to uh, improve the contribution growth in the hierarchy, which is defined in the GitMesh governance. So this is the architecture. So how it will work is it will collect data from using the GitHub API, and it collects data which includes commit, pull request, reviews, and the engagement with the community. Then, based on the collected data, each means contributor will be given some score, and the score will be decided on 6 dimensions, which include code quality, complexity of the issue solved, review quality, community engagement, documentation, and consistency. Now, after scoring, once a person reaches a predefined threshold in the progression, uh, a a notification will be sent or in form of a pull request, or a issue will be generated to uh, for the role change. So it will means a recommendation will be generated and the maintainer can approve or reject the role updation or means promotion of the person, and all these changes will be logged, which is currently being implemented in our current governance system. So what are the principles? It includes the human in the loop decision making, means there will be no system of auto promotion or auto demotion. Everything will be approved by a maintainer, and nothing will be automated. Only the recommendations for promotion and demotion will be generated. Uh, Also, there will be no auto demotions for inactive users. So if a person is inactive, we cannot disregard his past contributions. So the person won't be demoted, but rather flagged as inactive. And this would help him return after being inactive unless there has been a complete architectural change. Now, this would also require our complete architecture to be broken down into subsystems, so a person can focus only on the areas he is interested in and do not worry about the complete code base. Then we won't use the traditional metrics like count of commits, but also include better metrics such as quality of code and engagement with the community, also the impact on the project. And so as a person don't get overwhelmed, it will have a progressive growth system, meaning a person will be promoted only one role at a time, unless with some exceptions. So now this is the current hierarchy in GitMesh, which includes newbie contributor, active contributor, core contributor, principal contributor, and a maintainer. So this is same as the current system. The only change will be now the principal contributor can be treated as a subsystem maintainer and will manage all the things within a particular subsystem, which our project can be divided into based on requirement. Uh, Now, this system would require the following components to be built. First, we'll have a data collection engine. So the current system has already current what we have, which we have developed already collects user data, which includes commits, pull requests, and reviews. But we can also include the community engagement in that. It can be scheduled to run weekly or bi-weekly depending on a requirement. Then we'll have a scoring engine. What it will do is uh, score the contribution of a user, and it will means a person will have some kind of a leveling system in which he'll maintain his score, and with each contribution the score will keep on increasing. Uh, Once then we will have a recommendation generator. So in our governance system, we'll have predefined threshold for each level of hierarchy or each role. And once a user reaches that uh, score, we can generate a recommendation for role promotion. Uh, so uh, to have transparency in the system, all the complete architecture will be maintained inside the governments.yaml file, so people can understand how the government system progresses. And so, then we'll build a notification system. So once a person has reached the threshold for role updation, what we can do is create a GitHub pull request or a issue, so that yeah, the maintainers can be notified about the role change, and there the relevant persons can discuss and can approve or reject the recommendation. All the system will also be logged in the ledger which we have already built. And I'm also planning to include an analytics dashboard which will visually uh, represent the contribution trends and the health metrics of government governance in our repository. So we can keep a track of how the governance system is working in real time. Now, I was talking about the scoring engine. So these are the metrics which we can include, which include code quality. So such as the tests, complexity of the code, and how maintainable the code is. Then the problem complexity, like how complex the problem solved is, and what is the impact of it on the project. Then review quality. So if a person has done some review work, so how well the review has been implemented, or based on the question asked of the discussions. And then is the community engagement. So how a person is working well with the other persons in the community. And documentation and consistency, which includes the how well means how well documented a person's code is, and also the contribution to the actual documentations, and the consistency of the person in our repository. Then this is the roadmap for a better uh, means how we are going to build the system, like starting from data collection, which has already been implemented in the current governance system. Then we have to build a scoring system which would analyze the contributions and generate scores and accumulate them. Then there would be a recommendation engine that would issue a pull request or a GitHub issue to discuss role change. Then then integration with the current system, and finally how well it's working and refining the system as we require for our code base. And these are some things which we can implement, but it will be not very important initially, but we can build them on in the future, which will include contextual scoring, which means that based on the subsystem requirements, we would decide the scoring algorithms would be based on the requirements of a particular subsystem. So for example, if a subsystem is in the pre-release version, so we can have higher weights on documentation and testing. If the subsystem has already been mature, we can the higher scores, higher weight of scores will be on the code quality and code quality and maintenance rather than feature additions. And for the subsystems which are currently in growth, we can have higher weights on the building new features and architectural contributions. Since open source community has to do more with community engagement, so we can also have a peer recognition system in which, based on the community engagement of a person, we can improve his scoring, and also include a nomination system in which the existing maintainers can nominate role change or promotions for contributions. So the person can have accelerated growth rather than grinding through all the each tier of the progression. Then we can also include community votes, but this is not a requirement which can be done, so it can be done in the future. Also, we can have a better issue triage if we build the system. So based on the contributions of a person, we can determine the current skills, the strengths and weaknesses, and assign issues based on that, like recommend good first issues aligned with the goals of contributor, and also the actionable steps to achieve next role in the hierarchy. So these are the advantages of the uh, of building the system, which will be transparency, fairness, better efficiency, recognition of each person, and scalability. So this
Yeah,
was the
one
system I planned to
yeah, one
develop.
thing I wanted to like say, the system was great, but I guess it would be too complex for a developing project. Like once the project is developed, we can implement the whole stuff. But what I would suggest for right now is something like if you you mentioned about the code quality and review quality and those stuff, like it would be tough to determine the code quality and review quality, because if I select something that this is like more better code than, like if some person is doing documentation and someone is doing like work in some core structure, so like I can't compare that thing, right? So like how I can like give the score and those stuff. So like just it's my suggestion that what we can do is like we can keep this stuff not this much complex. What we can do is like stuff like having things like we can just get the score based on like every issue would be given some like some amount of number. Whosoever solves that particular issue gets that score directly added. So it can be done in that way. Also, one thing which you mentioned that once the contributor gets some role, they won't be demoted. So what I would suggest in that part is that there should be some limit, like time limit. Something like if a contributor is not contributing, say like till 2 months, then he would be just warned and not demoted yet, just flagged as inactive. But assuming a person is not active for more than like 3 or 4 months, what we can do is like we can demote him for like till the newbie one. We won't demote him, like we won't remove him directly. What we can do is like we can just demote to the lowest level, because like then what would happen is like if someone just contributed once and got like highest level, then the problem would be that he or she won't be continually like he won't be continually contributing to the project. So I guess like we should have some time limit also for that part. Yeah, we won't remove any person from that list. Any person, even if he contributed just once, would be a newbie contributor for all the time. Even a person demoted and it's not active for more than 3 or 4 years also would be also considered as the like newbie contributor at least. But like I don't think that would be correct if we say like we won't demote someone, because then it would be more like why would the other would be willing to work, right? Because if someone has not done something from long part, like we need to like have such structure that it is time dependent one. Also try to make it simpler for now, because we are currently developing projects. So if we keep too many things, then contributor would be having like would have to understand both the governance and also the project itself, and the project itself is too complex. So it would be way more difficult for anyone to understand the governance. So we can make it slightly simple that it would be based on the like issue score. Like every issue would be given some score based on the difficulty of that part. And if someone solves that, would get that particular score, and it would be normalized throughout the time. Like if the project next version is released, then that score would be slightly normalized, so that the score does not go way too much that a new contributor cannot get to the other score. It would be continuously normalizing after some new like version launch. The particular earlier contributors, their scores would be normalized to something low, so that new contributors also get a chance to surpass the previous contributors. Yeah, they would get an advantage to be and like have an early start, but I think like there should be something more fair in the terms that a new contributor can also be and engage with the community more easily. And the last thing was the demotion and promotion stuff. So what I think is like for the promotion, I think it would be once passed through the maintainers. For the demotion part, which I told like for this one, that if someone is not contributing that for more than like 4 or 5 or 6 months, then he would be demoted to the lowest. It should be automatic because if someone is not active at all in the project for more than 6 months, so even the maintainer won't be alert to demote them. So it should be, I guess, automatic for the demotion one. The active members would get easily in the eye of the maintainers, so they can be easily promoted. Yeah. So that was just my suggestion, that to make it slightly easy to understand, yeah, you can do stuff like giving a particular type of like issue more value than others. Like you can obviously give the score for the coding part more than the documentation one, because obviously documentation can be done easily by ChatGPT or anything. The code needs still needs something to be used like ID or something. So yeah, you can give the more score to those part, but we like what I don't think is right is like we give score based on the code quality right now. We can do is like if someone's PR is closed, we can do is like we can just tell him that his score would be fallen if someone reviews and does not merge it directly. Yes, so that the people who makes the PR would make the PR more perfect. We can do that thing, but like based on code quality, it would be more tough to guess the quality of code. Like directly for the maintainer also, and even for AI, it won't be fair. Like I think so. We can do that stuff. Like what about Ronit? What do you think?
Yeah, actually, whatever the current governance which Anu said, that is basically a little too complex for this growing GitMesh project. And the reviewing of code quality and strict governance around the code quality will most probably slow down the growth of this project for now. And since we are doing a very rapid PRs with rapid feature change and pivoting, so I think this code quality thing should not be added in the governance. Except for that, other tier level things and also the demotion things shouldn't be added in the governance. Apart from that, whatever the Ryan mentioned, that is very fine, and also governance system is good. And just these feature, I feel we shouldn't add it right now.
Okay, we'll change this and we'll send the PPT on the Discord so everyone can look into it.
Yeah, I like what I meant was like even if you don't want to make PPT, it's fine. Like just I wanted to know was the thing like what should be time that if someone is contributing from maybe 3 months, he should be promoted to something next. It would be directly suggested to the maintainer. Like what I wanted was that part, that for like based on some scores internally, it should suggest who should be promoted or demoted directly to the maintainer, so that maintainer can directly do that part. Because like currently I am also busy with two projects, so for me also it won't be possible to continuously review and promote people. So like just try to make something more feasible for that part. No need to make something too complex for right now. You can make something like decently stuff right now. You can later make it complex if we need, after we get the project stabilized and everything.
Yeah, we'll look into the changes and we'll design it accordingly and we'll try to not make it too complicated.
Yeah, and talking about Prashant one, yeah, you like I saw that one which you shared with me regarding
Um,
the, yeah, regarding that login one. So if you like see the GitMesh repository, you will get two stuff right in this thing. In the backend, there is a file named env.dist.local. What you have
Okay.
to do is like just make a second file in the same backend directory named .env.override.local. So
Okay.
.override.local, what it would do is like just make an override file for this and just change the stuff like the Google like this one Google client one. So if you
Mm-hmm.
just change the Google client one and add yours, so you can easily like log in that part. There are two env files. One is in backend and second is in front end one. The same
Okay.
structure like in backend and front end, it's both in that part. Just have to make the copy of this two dist file into
Mm-hmm.
two override file. Keep this dist file also. Just add
Okay.
two override file and no need to write anything in the composed one. But still, you will
Okay.
have to create the composed one. It like then it won't be an issue. So it would just start the project.
Okay. But for the credential part, what I need to replace over there?
For the credential, you can like just make an Google like you can make an Google app directly from the Google Cloud API console
Okay.
API and add
Okay.
your credential there so that
Okay.
once you add that credential, you will be able to log in. The
Okay.
login with email might won't work, so I would suggest you to log in with GitHub or like Google one.
Okay.
Just add that part, yeah. I guess I have mentioned that in the ENV that from where you can get that stuff. Like just let me see it. Like what I remember was like I did mention it in the ENV itself. And maybe if I haven't, yeah, I have mentioned it. Yeah. So you can see this link. You can just go on this particular link and add this Google callback URL there and just add your ID and secret. You will be able to log in with Google.
Uh, your screen is same, I guess. It's on the GitMesh repository
Oh,
homepage.
okay, okay, yeah. Wait a minute. I would just reshare my screen. Yeah. Is it visible?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah, so in env file, you can just say this thing. There is a link on which you
Okay.
can go and just fill up
Okay,
this
okay.
thing.
Okay.
And like the Google app would will also ask you two things like authorized JavaScript origins and authorized redirect URI. So I even
Okay.
mentioned that stuff here. You can just directly add that thing right there.
Okay, for sure.
And it will just start the project. Yeah, I guess there would be there might be some issue that I do have in my local right now. I will push it within like 1 or 2 days.
Okay.
So like it might work, but right now also it's quite stable. You can use it right now also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So
Thanks.
yeah, if yeah, also Ronit, if you want to share something, if you like about the project or anything.
Actually, yeah, just a little update. A lot of people were asking about the Windows build for this GitMesh project. So I have solved the issue. Most probably I'll push the PR by today night, and from who the people who are working on Windows, they can also set up this project properly. And apart from that, we're just working on the making the gitmess more lightweight by removing some of the very heavy containers which we don't require for now. And yeah,
Like,
these
yeah,
things
we
are
will
there.
remove the Kafka one because like we have removed the dependencies of Kafka. And once we remove Kafka, the load of the Gitmesh Dockers would be down by I guess 1 or 2 GB. So it would be like more fast in your system. So like currently we are working on that part only.
So
So
yeah, right now
mm,
for this month, my main focus is to make the gitmess more lightweight and remove the redundant codes, and so that more contributors can load it in their PC and they can make contribution easily by running and Docker. So yeah, this is for now.
yeah, and like just note about the GitHubs. Like I guess Anubhav asked me regarding the GitHub session. So for the GitHub section, what I did was like I told them to change it with another project which I was working on, because we had some pivoting, like we were finding some pivots for the GitMesh one. So what I did was like I transferred the GitMesh session from Fab to the part where we will be ongoing with the LFX mentorship, so that like other people can also get a chance. So most probably I won't be there in that one interview. Maybe some other mentor or like some mentee would be there for that interview with GitHub. I won't be like taking that interview with GitHub. Right now, I am taking the interview with GitHub for the project Caracal, which I was working on. Like it's just my project one. Like I was working on for my startup. Like I will just share that stuff once. So this one is that repo I was working on, the pre-execution authority enforcement for AI agents. It's something like Octa for AI agents, Octa or Auth0 for AI agents. So like as you can see, I was just working on that stuff. It just like I was working on that stuff. So like currently for this Friday, I would be sharing this with the GitHub. The GitMesh project would be shared with GitHub maybe in April or May, when there is when the mentees are being selected directly, so that even they can participate in that stuff. Yeah. So like that was all from my side. Like if you have something like any doubt or something to share, you can share it on Discord, or you can like also message me directly, as you all do have my number. You can even message me. Yeah, just introducing Prashant. I missed to introduce him. So like I met Prashant in Open Source Summit Korea, and also then met in Japan at Shibuya Crossing. So yeah, so he is also involved with open source and everything. And he has like I guess he has done G-Shock also, right?
Yeah, I have done twice, man. Twice of that.
Yeah, yeah, he has done G-Shock twice also, yeah. And he was also from Ahmedabad, so like we got in the contact and everything, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fine. Hi, Prashant. This is
Hi.
Ronit.
Hi, Rani.
Yeah,
And
so Ronit is
Rana
also
told
meant
me about you.
Yeah, I guess
Ron
we met at Shibuya.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Sure, then I
So
think this is fine for today. I think, shall we conclude?
yeah, yeah, we can conclude for today, yeah. So if you have any doubt, just share with me or Ronit. So just for the Prashant, like there are three maintainers right now for GitMesh. One is me, second is Ronit, and third is Perv. He is not there in this meet, but he
Okay.
would be there in the next meet. And Anubhav is our core contributor right now. So
Hmm.
he is currently like maintaining whole governance stuff right now for the GitMesh one, so that it
Okay.
can be fair for every contributor and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so like so have a like great week ahead and meet you in the next weekly dev call of GitMesh. Yeah. So bye everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.